Alright guys, it's been a while and evening is quickly approaching. I feel like I've got a decent amount of firewood. It's not going to get terribly cold tonight. So what I've done is I've left some of them in round form so I can put them in the stove later on and they'll burn a little bit slower. I do have my split wood over here, my twigs and stuff for fast fire. And then I've got some really, really dry rounds over here that'll take off quickly. So I like to organize the firewood and kind of categorize it where I need it to be. That way I know what I have, I can see what I have on hand. This stuff for quick fire, obviously, and starting the fire in the morning. And then, like I said, the larger rounds for later on in the evening when you just want to have it kind of steady and slow, but still be warm. So with all that said, it is going to be time to start on supper. I'm making a very simple dish tonight. So I'm going to be doing everything in one pot, which is going to be nice because I don't need to wash a whole bunch of dishes pretty much. So everything's going to be going in here, get that on the stove with some water, and do a little bit of food prep. Probably bring in the chopping stump from outside, set it in here maybe if there's enough room, or just do it on the ground. And get some things prepped up and slow cook this meal so it's a nice hearty meal. Very, very hungry, and it is cold outside, warm in here, so we got a good mix of kind of cool and hot, and I think this meal is going to be really interesting to bring in that winter vibe. So let's get cooking. Alright guys, food is ready. So what I have here is a fairly large pot of udon noodles, miso soup, some dried seaweed, orange pepper, yellow onion, and green onion. So basically a big pot of hot steamy soup, which is going to be really good on a day like this. Super fast, super simple, a great way to stay hydrated and eat some food all at once, because sometimes it can be tricky to drink cold liquids on a cold day, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it's just easy to get your liquid and food intake all at once, for me anyways. So let's give this a go. So slow cooking this on the wood stove really allows that miso soup to really get into everything. The peppers, the onions, the noodles, all that. Alright, well, I'm gonna relax inside the tent. It is hailing and freezing rain outside right now. You guys can probably hear that tapping on the tent. The winds are picking up, it's coming in quite strong, and everything on the outside of the tent is actually melting. That's how much heat is building in here, even with the door wide open. So very, very warm. I almost have to take my sweater off sitting this close to the stove. So it's definitely going to be a treat later on this evening once that door is shut. Get a light on here, have the tent glowing nice and warm, and just relax. So for now, I'm going to eat my supper, get all cleaned up, and then take the evening from there. Alright guys, just coming inside of the tent after doing a little bit of a tidy up, and I did gather a few more pieces of firewood, nothing major. I feel like I've got enough in here right now. It is toasty warm in here. Holy man, it is windy outside. I've got the snow skirts all the way around the tent planted down. The front door though does not have a snow skirt, so what I'm going to do is take my down jacket and my backpack a little later on and prop it over in that area, just to stop the draft from blowing in, because it is quite windy. Not that it'll matter. The down sleeping bag is going to be really, really warm, so just to cut down on the draft. But I gotta say, this wood is drying out really nice, and I like gathering softwood, which I never recommend when using a hot tent, because embers sometimes can fall out of the spark arrestor and melt holes in your tent, which is just part of tent life with the wood stove. But I do like using the softwood because it snaps and it crackles, giving that nice wood stove sound, which is really, really enjoyable in the evening. Boomer has been curled up in front of the wood stove, so he's nice and dry now from the snow. He's running around outside. He had his food, by the way, guys, so we did have some dog food here, and he did have a little bit of peppers from my supper as well. So he's got all kinds of treats as well, and definitely enjoying ourselves out here. So it is pretty much nightfall, dark outside. Got one light on in here. We're just basically going to kick it, relax in here. I do got to get my shoes off, my socks and pants, and get all changed into some drier clothes. The beauty of a hot tent, all the clothing can go up top of here and they'll dry out overnight. So I think this is going to be us for the rest of the evening. Not a whole lot going on. I might make up some noodles, maybe have a snack, watch a movie off of Netflix saved on my phone. Typical stuff. But other than that, I'm basically going to say goodnight, guys, and I'll catch up with you first thing in the morning. Good night, everybody. Good morning, everybody. It is a brisk and cold morning out here today. Got the wood stove cranked up right now. Boomer and I slept really good last night. Once this door got shut and I took my backpack and jacket and blocked that little air gap on the bottom, man, this tent got rocking with some serious heat. And that was laying down on the ground. Now, had I brought a chair, I would have been up higher. I would have been down to probably my boxers. It was very warm. So I've got a pot full of water on top of the wood stove right now, just starting to steam. It's gonna take a minute to come up the temp. Gonna cook up some hot coffee and then take the morning from there. Alright guys, so hot coffee on the go right now. Definitely needed this morning. Boomer's excited, as you guys can see. He's ready to go. Ready to play as always. So it is still quite chilly out. It's not below zero. Looking out on the lake right now, yesterday when it was snowing and hailing, it was actually starting to stick to the surface. And as you guys can see, everything's pretty much melted away. So there's a tiny bit of snow and hail on the tent skirt. Other than that, everything's gone. So definitely an early season snowfall, I feel. Kind of teasing us with winter a little bit. So that wood stove back there makes all the difference though. Warm gloves, warm sweater, dry shoes in the morning. Just such a treat to wake up to that. Especially the sounds, the crackle and the snap and the smell of the pine and the spruce. Incredible. So Boomer and I today are basically just going to take things really easy, really simple today. We do have a fair bit of stuff to pack up as the tent is somewhat large. It's not really a huge task to pack up. It's just going to take a few minutes. So we're going to let that wood stove burn out, sip on some hot coffee, and just relax because this forest is very interesting. Really, really straight hemlocks and pines and spruces and some rocky terrain and stuff. So it's kind of neat. But then it's got like this soft kind of touch to it with all like the pine duff and the needles on the ground. So it's kind of interesting. I had been here before. For those of you who are new to the channel, probably don't recognize it. But for returning viewers, you might recognize this a little bit. So, like I said, Boomer and I are going to relax, enjoy some coffee. Just wanted to bring you all up to speed. And cheers. Good morning. All right, guys, we've got everything packed up inside of the backpack, and yes, it did take about 25 to 30 minutes actually. Quite a long time in comparison to other hot tent trips. The tent was large, the stove was hot, there was a lot of stuff to pack away. There is a few pieces of firewood behind me left, probably only about 7 pieces, so I think we did pretty good for how much we cut and burned. So all in all, this was a really fun trip. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any questions or any inquiries. And that's pretty much it. Boomer and I are going to start making our way out of here. He's getting a little cold, so we got to get moving. And until next time, peace out, guys. I'll see you in the next adventure.